Hi folks, John Cordisco back again with another great chess video for you. This is going to be the fourth game in the 4-game series as a preview to the upcoming World Championship bout, World Chess Championship 2013, between world champion Anand and current challenger Magnus Carlsen. Anand is from India, Carlsen is from Norway. Carlsen is the second youngest person ever to play for the World Championship. Number one, of course, is the great Garry Kasparov. It's a game that was played at the Tal Memorial in Russia in 2013. Carlsen, number one rated player in the world as white, and Anand, world champion, current world champion, as black. It's going to be a Nimzo Indian defense. So let's get to it. D4, F6, C4. It's a Rubinstein Nimzo Indian, if anybody's wondering. E6, Knight C3, Bishop B4, E3, castles, Knight on G to E2, D5. Whoever it's worth department, I've got my Fritz 13 computer running off screen. I like to have it off screen so people can pause the video and try to figure out the move that the player is going to make on his next move. I think it's really helpful to people. I do it all the time. In fact, I think my game has improved quite a bit. I can just tell I feel more comfortable when I'm playing tournament games now, going over all these games in my 100+ videos. A3, kicking the bishop. Now I probably would have taken, but I'm sure Anand knows the theory. Bishop E7. That's why I'm only a 1600 rated player and he's the world champion. C takes, knight takes, bishop, knight D7, G3. It's good to have the knight here. I think he's feeding kettle in the bishop just to keep the knight there. This is an important square here to cover, and it's way over protected. B6, knight takes, pawn takes. It's pretty even right now. In fact, it's such a tiny advantage for white, I'm not even going to worth mentioning. Bishop G2, Bishop B7, Bishop B4. Now that one's a mystery to me. The three suggested moves by the computer at this point are Queen to C2, castles, and Bishop B4. And they're all about the same, minuscule difference. Technically, the first two moves are Queen to C2 and castles. Bishop to B4, I really don't understand. Now it's considered the best move. It doubles up the B pawns. And I don't know why taking that. I think most of us, including myself, would snap off that bishop on B4 in a second just to double up the pawns. Knight F6. Obviously around move 12, this is still theory, so that's probably why this has been gone over so much. These guys know this by heart. White finally castles. Rook E8. Get the rook on the semi-open file here. Plus develop at the same time. Rook to C1. Same thing. Semi-open file. Get your rooks on it. Excuse me. This move surprised me. Excuse me. C6. I'm not using the computer to go over this game. I'm just using the computer as a somewhat of a guide because I've gone over this game 2 or 3 times before I did the video. Bishop takes bishop is the computer suggestion, or Queen to D7. C6 just blocks off the light squared bishop. Now, who am I to question Anand? Well, I'm nobody really, but I doubt if any of us would play that. We'll see how it works out for him. Bishop takes, rook takes. Queen takes and rook takes is about the same on the computer. Rook E1, Queen d6. Knight f4. That's a good spot for that knight. Covers a lot of good squares. Covers here, 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 here. Also attacks this pawn. And what's nice about it is the light squared bishop. The only thing that shakes this knight off is either another knight or a pawn. Bishop c8. Interesting. That's another move that surprised me a little bit. I thought for sure he would do the computer suggestion, either h6 or g6, one of the two. Or maybe even rook. Either rook here or rook here. But Vichy decided to go bishop c8. Still with about a quarter pawn advantage for white. Might as well be even. That's nothing. Queen a4. Magnus decides to get the queen into play here, putting pressure on the pawn. Rook to c7, guarding the pawn. If he had gone bishop here instead, back again, then rook to c2, and he would have started picking on that pawn. He would double up his rooks. Not really much Vichy can do to save it in the end. So he decided to go rook to c7. f3. Now he's going to challenge the d5 pawn, eventually with e4. Bishop e6. Guard the pawn. e4 anyway. Now he has to take, because white is threatening pawn here, winning a piece. D takes. If he did have gone c5 instead, just for those of you that were wondering, I'm looking at this position here. D takes. Rook takes. Rook c to d1. That d pawn's doomed. D takes, F takes. Queen of d7. Now comes the killer. d5. Magnus is just going for it. How can you blame him? You got a knight here covering these squares. Bishop, rook, rook, and a queen. I mean, we'll go back here after F takes. B5 was probably the better move, chasing the queen off. Decided to go queen of d7, then d5. C takes. Queen takes d7. Rook takes d7. Now black is up a pawn. I can tell you how bad Vichy's position is here. Black is up a pawn, but he's still almost down 2 pawns in score. His position is so horrendous. If he had taken knight takes instead, those of you wondering, rook takes, knight to f8, you're down a whole rook. He had to take with a rook. Knight takes the bishop. That was a big surprise to me. The computer also agrees. I think all of us would have taken e takes d5 in a snap. But that's why these guys play at the world-class level and we don't. Knight takes was the proper move. F takes. Bishop h3. What to do, what to do, what to do. You're Vichy and Anand, you're black. You're on the 25th move. I don't know about the time trouble, if there was any for either player. Whether you're the world champion or not, good luck with this. It's you're threatening, for starters. Bishop takes pawn check, winning the rook or the exchange, and the game's already over. So the rook has to be moved, or the king. What to do, what to do. Poor Vichy. Poor Vichy. He decides to move the king. Now what do you think all of us would do here? Bishop takes e6. E takes d. Can't take back. course, the best move, e5. And the computer also agrees. That's why he's the world's #1. Knight to g8, really only place to go that's worth anything. Bishop takes. Now this is where I think Vishy miscues, but I think the game is already lost. He plays rook d to d8. Natural move, very natural move. Probably should want rook to e7, and after bishop takes, rook to d8. It's still really hard for black. He's not going to be able to survive this, I don't think. After rook d to d8, rook to c7. Now he infiltrates the 7th rank. Deadly stuff. Deadly stuff for all you beginner players, or even intermediate players like myself. You start getting, what does the one guy say, I think, Bruce Pandolfini? The one's in the movie there looking for Bobby Fischer. A rook on the 7th rank is like a pig. He just gobbles everything up. And black's in a lot of trouble. He went d4. What else could he have done, really? g6 maybe. You know, the bishop's guarding this square here, so the rook can't come over. If he had gone g6, bishop d7, a6, e6, that pretty much seals his doom as well. After rook a to d8, rook c7, d4 for black, and Carlsen went, try to guess. Pause the video now, or I'll give you a couple of seconds to look at it. What is the winning move for Magnus Carlsen? a4, bishop g4, bishop d7 is the winning move. Black is doomed. Vishy Anand, world chess champion, resigned. Tough loss for Vishy. If you notice in my series here, I played 1 win for Magnus Carlsen, 1 win for Vishy Anand, and 2 draws, just to try to be fair. I'm just going to make a couple of comments here at the end for the upcoming championship, my perspective. I think Magnus went through the meat grinder and hell and back during the candidates final. If you saw him when he won the tournament and won on tie breaks against Vladimir Kramnik, who was coming right up behind him, right on his back the whole time, it could have gone easily to Kramnik. And I'm sure Kramnik was heartbroken. He's 40 years old, I believe, or close to it. And this might have been his last chance to get in the World Championship. We'll have to see. He's an incredibly great player. Levin Aronian, unfortunately, self-destructed in a couple of games, and Magnus come out on top. To say he played really good chess is okay. Magnus flubbed a few games, especially his loss against, excuse me, against Vasily Ivanchuk, who had a really interesting tournament. I think he flagged on 4 games. Magnus is a great player. World #1 rated, highest rating ever in the world. Gotta give it to the kid. I like him a lot. I think him being the championship win or lose can do nothing but good things for chess worldwide, especially among young people. I saw a video on YouTube where he was in India a few weeks ago checking out the arrangements for the World Championship, and there was this big complex, building complex with balconies all around the inside, with thousands and thousands of Indian kids just going crazy when he showed up. Having that many young people in the game for the future of chess can be nothing but a good thing. He has very little match experience. Vishy, of course, seasoned veteran, defended his title several times and won. Some very close calls, but nonetheless won. He's got a huge match experience over Magnus. Played in tons of matches. He's got his experience as a player and his age. He's a little more mature. I'm not really sure who's going to win, and I'm not really sure if I should pick a side. I think Magnus has better than a 50-50 chance. I'm not sure how high up it is, but it's better than 50-50. I feel badly because one of them's going to have to walk away a loser. But that's sport. Someone has to win, someone has to lose. And it's going to be great I believe it starts either November 6th or November 7th in India. I like Vichy a lot. He's a class act. Magnus Carlsen is a good guy too. He's not one of those egghead chess players. That's all he does. He's very athletic. He plays sports. He's just a young, I believe he's 22. My gosh, I got clothes older than that. Anyway, I'm very much looking forward to it. It's going to be the November 6th or 7th. I forgot the starting date in India. Kind of sucks for me living on the East Coast of the United States because the start time of the game is 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in the U.S. So, oh well, I'm just going to have to suck it up and do the best I can trying to follow the games in the middle of the night. Anyway, folks, that's the last of the 4-game series World Chess Championship 2013 preview. I hope you enjoyed it. I want you all to remember, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. And I'd love to see all of you in my next video. And please, my subscribers, I thank you very much. And those that haven't subscribed, please do. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.